Join your host, Joel Abraham, every Friday as we discuss important issues affecting our society from 8 to 10:30 p.m. For persons living outside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can still listen to us on Nice Radio's website, www.niceradio.info, or you can email us at bdsnice@gmail.com, or simply give us a call at 784-456-5967. Remember, it's Keeping It Real, the interactive talk show program heard each and every Friday, only on Nice Radio.
It's a conspiracy going on here in this country. What a sad moment for we. They're trying to take rights and justice from we. I believe that wouldn't happen. We must take a stand and unite as one. And no matter what, for rights we have to fight back. I say we go fight for justice. We want we rights. Nobody can take away freedom. We want we rights. Yes, we walking for we rights, and we talking for we rights. So we marching for we rights. Nobody can take we rights. We demonstrating for we rights. We protesting for we rights. We picketing for we rights. Nobody can take we rights. We worry rights and justice. We worry rights and freedom. We worry rights and justice. So don't try to take me rights. We worry rights and justice. We worry rights and freedom. We worry rights and justice. So don't try to take me rights. We must let them know decisions they can make just so, and have us like Papi Show. So all what they do and say, we must make them pay, and pay in a real big way. They must understand the power is in we hand. They should be ashamed and don't ever try that again. I say we go fight for justice. We worry rights. Nobody can take away freedom. We worry rights. Yes, we walking for we rights, and we talking for we rights. So we marching for we rights. Nobody can take we rights. We demonstrating for we rights. We protesting for we rights. We picketing for we rights. Nobody can take we rights. We worry rights and justice. We worry rights and freedom. We worry rights and justice. So don't try to take we rights. We worry rights and justice. We worry rights and freedom. We worry rights and justice. So don't try to take we rights. Like some animation to make their own constitution. That's always their intention. So they want to rule and have the masses like fool. My friends, that wouldn't be cool. The lad they are men, give the people more strength. Don't care how they feel, the same light will be repealed. I say we go fight for justice. We worry rights. Nobody can take away freedom. We worry rights. Yes, we walking for we rights, and we talking for we rights. So we marching for we rights. Nobody can take we rights. We demonstrating for we rights. We protesting for we rights. We picketing for we rights. Nobody can take we rights. We worry rights and justice. We worry rights and freedom. We worry rights and justice. So don't try to take we rights. We worry rights and justice. We worry rights and freedom. We worry rights and justice. So don't try to take we rights. We worry rights and justice. We worry rights and freedom. We worry rights and justice. So don't try to take we rights. We worry rights and justice. We worry rights and freedom. We worry rights and justice. So don't try to take we rights. We worry rights and justice. We worry rights and freedom. We worry rights and justice. So don't try to take we rights. We worry rights and freedom. So don't try to take we rights. We worry rights and freedom. So don't try to take we rights. We worry rights and freedom. So don't try to take we rights. We worry rights and freedom. So don't try to take we rights.
Keeping It Real is an interactive radio program heard only on Nice Radio. Join your host, Joel Abraham, every Friday as we discuss important issues affecting our society from 8 to 10:30 p.m. For persons living outside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can still listen to us on Nice Radio's website, www.niceradio.info, or you can email us at bdsnice@gmail.com, or simply give us a call at 784-456-5967. Remember, it's Keeping It Real, the interactive talk show program heard each and every Friday only on Nice Radio.
I don't care who call me to face. I campaigning to get a gravy trade space. I out in my red, I even painting the street. Hotting up the head of some them Calypsonians and meat. And bitch tell me who put me so down dead already. It's we make them wicked pirates have the train hijack. I'm making them laugh. I must be accommodated. Give him 6 reasons why we should float them back. I say, reason number 1. If you see me, I'll sing the brain. I can't find a reason. I feel shame. But you know the conductor.
Prince and the Grenadines, we are here once again. Keeping It Real is on the air. And you know, there's never ever a dull moment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So wherever you may be tonight, any water hole that you is taking in your weekend, not back with your friends, and you're listening to Keeping It Real, every crab hole, dog hole, fox hole, every nook and cranny, whatever media that you're using, TikTok, cyberspace, what, Keeping It Real is on the air. And you know, this ain't no joke. It's not an entertainment. It's educated, informing, and enlightening to you. I remember it's a program where you can have your bit. So when the lines are open, all we are asking you is to be clean, nothing blasphemous, maligning, scandalous, or scaremongering. And we don't want to be in conflict with anybody, anything whatsoever. Just keeping it real and clean. So, Keeping It Real is here once again. Now, the silly season is on, although the date has not been announced, but it's coming down to crunch time. And we're seeing all kind of funny things appearing up on social media, Facebook, TikTok, WhatsApp, and all sort of other apps and grouping They're too numerous to mention, and everybody is having a feeling. But I would like to know, because this question was posed to me a couple of times in the week, if the local radio station would be available for the public. Yes, the state-owned. State-owned radio station for any NGO, also the ruling party, the opposition, for them to go and air their views about what they think or what they expect concerning the elections. I asked two of them why they opposing that, because you see, they are hearing different views from the political parties, but they also too they have the NGOs, which is non-government organization. You have these other non-partisan organization that should have an opportunity to air and also put forward views of what they should expect in terms of behavior and conduct for the election, because they would like to have a peaceful election. So I said, I think there was supposed to be
That has happened all the time.
a organization in place for that. But they saying that they didn't really knew, but they just asking whereby if, for instance, a church want to go and say they want to have a meeting with both parties before the election and bring them together, bless them or whatever, right? So I said I would tweet out to get the feedback from the public on that aspect. I'm also was bombarded about how close does these agents who is monitoring the election really monitor the election so that they could declare that the election is free and fair and free from fear, and also from the number of gerrymandering and other aspect that take place even up to election morning, where persons are going around and the not too far from polling station with things and passing bribery and those sort of things. So how could those be monitored? And so I said, well, that is a ticklish one, because that has always been in place where people share lumber galvanized and things. So they say now the gun party lumber and galvanized now it's big cash, because in some area $1,000 don't already start to pass. I say I don't know which party has that kind of resource to pass out $1,000 in certain constituencies. So I said, if you know of that information, you could take pictures for the necessary evidence and bring it forward to me, and let me partner with see how best we could bring it to the light of the public. But what amazed me is the meeting in Shakdale. I think it's with the Prime Minister was talking to people in Shakdale, say that if Carlos James promised you a job and you didn't get it before election, there is no justification for you to argue and grumble. Wait till after election. So I say this is how things have reached to. In order for you to get a job, the politician has to decide. I think once work is available, it should be available for all Vincentian, everybody Vincentian. that can do the job and apply for the job, and not what is being selected out. Then he went further on and mentioned if some of you didn't get your house repaired, don't think that you won't get it repaired. All you have to do is ensure that you vote for us and you'll get your house repaired. This again, I see it as wrong, and it come back straight to the situation whereby manipulation and using this resource of the nation wrongfully, because it didn't come out of the party personal pocket. It did not come out of the pockets of any personal politician. And I know it's taxpayers' money that pays for these things. So that shouldn't be a reason why you should vote for them, because your house got damaged or you're indigent and needing necessary help. So if you don't vote for them, that means that all your house can get repaired. And these are the things that need to be brought out and addressed. Then I heard this one last night on the news and it shocked me, because I count it as the police campaigning. On the news, the state two police sergeant was on the radio, on the television. It seemed like it's an insult maybe from my radio program. And they were stating that no police station should be in a dilapidated condition. And the reason for that, they have the electrical and maintenance department in the police force that once you call in and report that matter, they would go and repair that. So when I hear that, I said, first I'm hearing this nonsense, because when I look at the condition of numerous police stations throughout the nation, and the condition that, look, for instance, the main one in Chong, Central Police Station, if that is the case, then why is it in that condition? With all kind of piece of board and canvas and polling to keep out the elements. But only in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, such thing could be utter and happening, because I know there are numerous police stations that has been closed down because of the condition, and the state is renting private properties for the police to have a decent place of where they can operate from. Then school is open, and there's all sorts of confusion that is taking place. Placement of teachers, the placement of principal and deputy principal. It have people who are in administrative control for years, and now that the head of that leave. Like if, for instance, in Western George Secondary School, Convash was there as deputy for so long, but he was overlooked for that position, which a number of people say is injustice. But then they got to do. Likewise, also Bookman Secondary School, the person who was there for 20 years as deputy, but a politician wife got the position as headmistress there now. And it's also happening within the service, where persons are leapfrogging over their seniors. So it seemed like what I had took the government to court on, when my constitutional right was infringed on for 29 years, no promotion. And they couldn't justify it, where you took somebody 25 years, my junior, and want to make him my supervisor. And I won your case handsomely and haven't been compensated up to today for that injustice that was meted out on me, where you infringe on my constitutional right as a civil servant which is under the constitution of the country. But that is not the point. And these are the sort of things that has caused chaos and confusion in the service. That is why the service cannot function proper. And the Prime Minister would come and say that he does not interfere with anything that has to do with the service. But he may say so openly, but indirectly. A number of things are happening because if he don't give the go ahead, it can't meet the light of day. And I can tell you, he told me why I didn't come to him instead of taking my matter to court. So then, therefore, he is signed on the constitution of the country. Right? So that is why he's telling me I should not have taken my matter to court to get my justice. I should have come to him to address something that is clear and outlined in the public service. And these are the sort of things that have been continuing to happen. And they put all kind of square pegs and statutory boards who doesn't know anything about the functioning of the organization that they are on the board for, just only to get a little perks or whatever. And they are there for years and years. Another area that we need to be rectified also to is certain people that they have made justice of the peace. Many people meet me and ask me, you and your partner justice of the peace? I say, we? Not under this regime, maybe in some other time. Because why? We are frank and outspoken. We are knowledgeable about the whole operations. We have met the criteria to be justice of the peace. And not just us, many other persons. But because of our stance and how we would function and operate, our moral ethics that we adhere to would not make them want to make us justice of the peace. Because where they would want us to be loyal to, we cannot be loyal to wrong. We cannot be loyal to man. We're loyal to the truth and honesty, and justice should prevail. And that's what they cannot understand, and that is what people like us will not see the light of day under such regime to have any significant part to play to ensure the rights and freedom of the average person in this country and for things to prevail in the right way. So many things that you see happen within communities and so, you have a person there who could stand up and make a difference, but they are not given the opportunity and the chance. And that's why this country, you have to be in the malaise that is in. And people are loyal to wrongness. They are loyal, seeing their neighbor being abused and misused. And it's all well and good because it aids them. But remember, karma don't sleep. Karma don't wear pajamas. Karma is slowly but surely making it wrongs. And none of us know when it is our turn, when karma will knock on our door, and then reality come home to us. It's gonna happen. It will happen. So I will take my ease for now, and later on I shall be back during the program.
Keeping It Real is an interactive radio program heard only on Nice Radio. Join your host, Joel Abraham, every Friday as we discuss important issues affecting our society from 8 to 10:30 p.m. For persons living outside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can still listen to us on Nice Radio's website, www.niceradio.info, or you can email us at bdsnice@gmail.com, or simply give us a call at 784-456-5967. Remember, it's Keeping It Real, the interactive talk show program heard each and every Friday.
Hiding from money.
Yeah, liar. Ooh.
We have a situation which is developing fast. We have already, you've heard before that we have over 1,100 people who are active. We have 27 deaths now. There was one today, 5 yesterday. The hospital is overrun. The other health facilities are under strain. We have to get more people involved from the health service point of view, etc. So it is a difficult situation that we're having now. At the same time, we see there's an increased number of hospitalization. Just today, I went to the Kingston, the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, where they are moving people from one ward to another to make room for new entrants who are sick with COVID. Sooner or later, we'll have a problem where we don't have places to put people. So people must get vaccinated now. It is not just in their own health interest. It is the economic situation. It's for education. It's about socialization, etc. The entire spectrum of our civilization is affected by COVID-19, and the best way to deal with it is to be vaccinated.
It's not. It's not a punish. You're not going to vaccinate your way out of it with vaccination only. We saw that, and I would have said that God allowed it, that only those from the government side who had total confidence in it, who was so confident that they would fire their brothers and their sisters, that they would have said members of their own constituents. And I'm not going to the politics because I'm not going to be there. But the fact that you had so much confidence, and then God allowed just those parliamentarians to be affected, is a sign. We don't know what God is saying, but there's a message in it that clearly saying something that, hold on, you took the 2 vaccines, these other people didn't take any, the workers were vaccinated, and the fact that you alone, so become sober again now. Every one of them recognize that that this Omicron is evading and the vaccine is less effective. But then the WHO comes out and says that even emerging variants are likely to evade and reduce the efficaciousness and effectiveness of the vaccine. In other words, those are enough bits of data for the government to just review its decision. And I believe that we must not demonize them, and they are not to be demonized. And even if the court is an option, the reality is, and the court is a viable option, and the teachers and the workers will win. When they win, the damage might have already been done. So again, I believe that the Prime Minister still has it in him to address the issue, to call the unions in, and it's good that the unions would have written, because we can't harden our hearts. We can't take positions while people are suffering. And we cannot make dismissing people fun and something to talk about every day in such a glowing manner, gleefully gets up on radio daily and talk about it, because it is really violence against women, violence against those who are ill, violence against those who have medical condition. It's violence against the children who depend on their parents, because it's economic violence, it's strangulation. So I again beg and urge our Honorable Prime Minister, and I believe he has it in him, to rectify the situation and bring amicable and swift closure to it.
You go to the evacuation center, you will also be vaccinated. This is not a drill, and it is not voluntary. There's a pandemic that is taking place, and we'll be vaccinating persons once they enter a government-operated shelter. And I want that to be very clear to persons as well for listening this live.
It is amazing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is that people actually working in the tourist industry don't care about the businesses. They have a selfish attitude about themselves. I'm talking about the people who don't want to get vaccinated. And then, of course, there are those people who have fixed salaries and quite happy to draw their salary, but they're not concerned about the economy, and they don't want to accept that COVID is killing St. Vincent and the Grenadines and other parts of the world. They're not interested in the statistic that over 5 billion people have been vaccinated, and the number keeps rising. I keep following it. And they go after the rubbish that they get on the cell phone and saying that they don't trust science. But what produced the cell phone but science? Yeah. So there are a lot of unfortunate misunderstandings that we have to clear up, and St. Vincent is at the bottom of the pile with regard to being vaccinated, and we have to get it done. And this matter is not political, because if even the government changes, COVID is not going away.
People raise the concern whether she might have been biased, the question whether she might have been an anti-vaxxer, or she did not take, or she may not have taken a vaccine herself. All these questions I am not answering. I know that they have been raised, and I don't necessarily propose an answer to them. But there have been...
Well, hello everyone. My name is Bernadine Nanton Cook. Some of you will know me as the attorney who worked for the St. Vincent Building and Loan Association. But that is no more, because I was dismissed for not adhering to a COVID-19 policy that was in place at the St. Vincent Building and Loan Association.
Will raise the...
Ask about the existence of a study that establishes a correlation between COVID-19 and the vaccination exercise, but did not state whether it is a correlation between COVID-19 disease and vaccination, or COVID-19 deaths and vaccination, or any other COVID-19 variable and the vaccination exercise. However, Madam Speaker, reviews of the data have shown that the majority of persons who tested positive for COVID-19 and or died from COVID-19 between 2021 and 2022 were unvaccinated. There have, however, been studies done on the excess deaths noted after the declaration of the discontinuation of the public health emergency of international concern in May of 2023. And these studies have demonstrated that the excess deaths are related to the NCDs, including cardiovascular diseases and COVID-19 infections. The Swiss RE Institute published an article on September 16, 2024, which concluded as follows. And before I do that, before I quote that, let me just say that we did not do a study ourselves with respect to that. But there is a study done by the Swiss RE Institute. I'm quoting now. Based on current medical trends and expected advancements, we conclude that COVID-19 is still driving excess mortality, both directly and indirectly. In the long term, lifestyle factors that contribute to your metabolic health and lead to obesity and diabetes may become another compounding factor in population excess mortality. Insurers may wish to continue to monitor excess mortality and its underlying drivers in the general population closely, as well as the differences between general and insured populations, unquote. In 2021, leading cause of death, ischemic heart disease, 171 deaths. 2022, leading cause of death, ischemic heart disease, 134 deaths. 2023, ischemic heart disease, 159 deaths. And up to September 30th, 2024, the same, ischemic heart disease, 117 deaths. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Tell me who better than them to fit this description. Cause when they get into power, everything they devour, they just behave so greedy.
It makes no sense. The bottom line is that you cannot equate levels of vaccination with any level of safety. Vaccinated or unvaccinated, people need to be judicious. That is to say, they must do the social distancing, they must continue to wash, and they must continue to wear the mask. That is what is required. Because if you don't, vaccination in itself is not going to cut it. You're going to have the same spike if you don't do these things. And that's the message we've been trying to urge this government to understand from day one. As important as vaccination is, it is not the panacea. Regardless of the levels, that is not going to cut it.
Country, he said that he fixed the bridge.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. This is the President, Brother Oswald Robinson. Today is September the 4th, 2025. I had a conversation today with Councillor Thomas, and I inquired about the case going to the Privy Council, and he said to me that there will be a hearing on the 17th of this month. That hearing is not at the Privy Council. Let me make that clear. The procedure is that there has to be a hearing of the court here, the Eastern Caribbean Court. There has to be a hearing on both sides before the submission is made to the Privy Council. That is my understanding. So I want everybody to understand that I have been informed in a conversation that there'll be a hearing here on the 17th of this month. I don't know what time. I don't know if this meeting would involve like the usual where everybody will sit in and hear. I would have to find out from him further because I have a meeting with him scheduled shortly. Okay, so I just want everybody to know that.
Good night, good night. Keeping it real right here on Nice Radio. Well, I will try to address the last one first. So you heard from the president of the Teachers Union. So finally, a date has been given for the notice to appeal to the British Privy Council in England in relation to the vaccine mandate case. You must note that the British Privy Council is our final court of appeal. And I will run through the date again for you, and I have a document here I may read from. So when the 17th of September arrives, it will be 196 days after the lawyer would have applied for leave to appeal the decision of the Court of Appeal. As we stand now, it is 184 days since they would have, I'm speaking up to today's date, since they would have applied for leave to appeal to the British Privy Council. So they waited more than half a year before they finally have the day in court before they leave can be granted. And what you heard from the president, and let me just read this first. Form 23, notice of appeal, submitted date the 16th of March 2023 at 10:50 a.m. Filing date the 16th of the 3rd, 2023 at 10:54, and there was no fee paid. So as far as the document shows, the notice of appeal, and it should must apply in all cases. So the notice of appeal. So this is what it states. Take notice that subject, and this is when the lawyers for Dr. Gonzalez, for the state, appealed the decision of Justice Henry. And this is what it says. Takes note that subject to the right to amend the notice on notice and grounds on receipt of the written decision, the appellant, being the defendant in the court below, hereby appeal to the Court of Appeal against the decision of Honorable Madam Justice Esco L. Henry, containing in an order October dated the 13th day of March 2023. A copy of the order is attached to this notice of appeal. Details of the order appealed. So that is basically, that is standard procedures. So the standard procedure, you give notice to appeal, you file your necessary document, you state your grounds on which you plan to appeal the decision on. And I don't know if it's normal that you have a hearing on it, but this is the ground. And then this is what they stated then. In relation to the consolidated claim, it is hereby declared that A, Rule 8.1, this is basically what they're challenging it on, where Justice Esco Henry basically rule in favor of the teachers and the public servants. So the lawyers for the state basically was in disagreement with her position, and hence they appeal the decision. So they give the notice of appeal to the court, indicating that we're not in agreement with Justice Henry's decision, and we want to appeal it under those grounds. And I take it for granted that that is the same thing that that lawyer Thomas did. He basically went through the appeal, he went to the decision of the appeal court, and he stated his grounds, his objection to the decision of the Court of Appeal, and the lawyers for the teachers, I don't think he's the lead lawyer, but the lawyers for the teachers and the public servant would submit also their claim in terms of their grounds, where they basically in disagreement with the Court of Appeal, the majority decision on the Court of Appeal. So that is basically what should or had happened. So what they did, they appealed on particular grounds. I don't know the ground because I haven't received that document. So hopefully, after the 17th of next month, we should have a copy of that document to see on which grounds the public servants and the teacher will rely on to have the leave to appeal to the British Privy Council, which is our final court of appeal. And I will tell you this, appeal is a must. Appeal is your right as either a defendant or the appellant. That is your right to appeal. Whether or not your appeal will be upheld, whether or not your appeal will be decided on based on the grounds, or whether or not they will choose to hear your appeal, that is left for the Court of Appeal. If you have sufficient grounds based on your submission, the court will then listen the argument on which you which you seek to appeal on. So when the lawyers for the government, they indicated Rule 8.1 and 8.2. They declare Rule 1 and 2. Yes, Rule 1 and 2, they say it's the special measures rule are unconstitutional, unlawful, ultra-virus, disproportionate, and tainted with procedural improprieties. That is what the Justice Henry would have ruled in terms of the government. So basically, she ruled in favor of the teachers, saying what the government did with the special measures was unlawful, unconstitutional, ultra-vires, disproportionate, and tainted with procedural improprieties. So that is what the Justice Henry that is what Justice Henry indicated in her judgment. So the government, in their claim, they basically disagree with her position, and they went on to place some other grounds for the appeal. The minister's decision by Rule 8 of the Special Measures Rule to deem the public officer claimant to have resigned their offices pursuant to Section Regulation 31 of the PSU regulation without affording them an opportunity to be heard constitute a breach of natural justice, contravene Section 8.8 of the Constitution, is unlawful, procedurally improper, and so they basically was stating the reason why they seeking to appeal the decision, and they went on and on in a long filing, like basically, and they was granted the leave to appeal 38 days later. And after the Court of Appeal ruled against the public servants and teachers, they did the same thing. They appealed to leave to go to the Privy Council, and as I indicated to you, to the mark 182 days in comparison to 38 days, where the government lawyers receive a reply to have the matter stay, the judgment stay, and the leave to appeal was granted. So come the 17th of September will mark 196 days. And the teachers and the public servants will finally, and you know, after, I shouldn't say finally, let me correct that. The matter will be heard as it relates to the application for leave to appeal, and that may take another month. I hope it's faster, but that will take another month before judgment is given, maybe longer, but that will take some time also after they consider the application, I believe, after they consider the application, because this one took 38 days, and I'm taking for granted that that one should be more expeditious, but I'm not optimistic, so I'm saying let us say at least we will have to wait maybe a next month, and the matter may not reach to the Privy Council or a decision from the Privy Council. We may not get it until next year. I know that is practical as it is now. So the election will be called, and government will be formed, and the government that you put in place will have the responsibility to deal with this matter once and for all. But meanwhile, teachers and public servants has moved from this life to the next. And regardless of the decision of the Privy Council, which I believe it will be in favor of the public servants and the teachers, a lot of person would have gone to the great beyond. Not only that, they are still suffering. And while most of the time we focus on the public servants and the teachers, we fail most of the time or sometime to forget those who are suffering as we speak. So a lot of persons are still suffering as we speak who took the COVID-19 vaccine. And the latest one, well, I know is the police officer. I think he will be buried this weekend in Bequia. Yes, I think it's Bequia he will be buried. That is the last one. Right? I know about it. The police officer, the one I know, who spoke to me and indicated that he was suffering after he took the vaccine based on his lawyer, his doctor. We know that he gone on the other side. We listened also lawyer, counsel Carly Dugan, and he indicated also to us that his doctor told him that is after he took the vaccine, that is why he was having, according to him, his feet was stiff like bone. And also another individual from Fay Hall, because he close to one of my cousins. So we know for a fact that he also was suffering after he took the vaccine. I know about a number of other cases, but I will highlight those three because those three, most persons could confirm that the police barely told them. The lawyer Carly Dugan, he stated publicly on radio. And the other individual, I happen to know him through my cousin, and I spoke to his father. And those are cases. We have Anicia, I can't remember her name, Anicia, niece, what is her name? What is his name? Micah. Micah is a husband. Micah, wife. She indicated to us that she was suffering because she took the vaccine. And a few weeks after, a couple of days after, she passed from this life on to the next. And you have a number of other persons who can testify about what happened to them and their family. I know people meet me in town all the time and indicated that they have been serious complications after the vaccine. I know a particular individual who I went to visit recently who have serious problem, and I wouldn't get into it, but serious problem where a particular part of that individual had to be removed. And from what she was told is by virtue of the vaccine. So I want those individuals who are hiding, who are upfront, giving us advice, indicating who not following the science, indicating who should take the vaccine and why we should take the vaccine and all those things. I want those guys to come out and look us in our face and indicate to us that what the information we were given based on the real expert and the real science to tell us that we were wrong, to tell us what we were saying was not correct, and to look those families in the eyes and tell them exactly why they lost the loved one who were healthy. why they lost the loved one who were healthy, who were forced to take the vaccine. You heard I played a tape from the building alone. Lawyer, she was the in-house lawyer for the building alone, and she was dismissed from her work because building alone decided to adopt the policy of government and forced the worker to take the vaccine. I remember Kuwait also did that. And when I saw the thing from Kuwait, we discussed it on this program. But none of them were willing to take accept liability in case of anything happened to the workers. They basically allow the workers who are still suffering, and they pay no attention to them. Some of them threatening, what I call it, medical board, to be medically boarded. That some of them are threatening those on the public servants who are sick pretty often. Oh, we'll have to medical board you, stay home too often. And when they are informed that they, by virtue of taking the vaccine or poison, whatever people want to call it, they pay no attention to that because they are not concerned seriously. So we have the problem where we know for a fact that the vaccine was not approved on the how vaccines are normally approved. And I could remember, I can't remember if it's President Biden indicated, I think it's President Biden indicated that he's not going to give AstraZeneca to his people, he's going to send them to the Caribbean. I was looking for the tape, I didn't. So when he made that statement, I say, and our Caribbean leaders and part of Africa chose to take it and place it in their people system. They are wicked and criminals to do something like that, because if you are not willing to give your people, why you want to send it to other countries for them to place in their citizens? And the leaders of the countries, all the countries in the Caribbean and around the world that took it are wicked and they are criminals to their citizens. Because if it's not good for Paul, it ought not to be good for Peter. And when that was done, and all of us, well, most persons remained silent and forced it on our people. And that is why, and I'm going to say it, and who vex is your business. That is why a lot of churches are still empty today, because you abandoned your congregation when they need you most. You abandoned your congregation when they needed you most. And I spoke to a particular individual, and they are still disturbed with the position of the Seventh-day Adventist Church and the position to the members. Because as far as we do it, the Seventh-day Adventist churches, they're the one who preach most about health and health issues. And you betrayed your members. You betrayed your members. And I think I have one more thing to say on the vaccine. That okay, let me play this small thing, and then one more thing on the vaccine, and then I open the line.
Yeah, this vaccine to go through with hardly any safety data at all. In fact, the safety data was there, but they obfuscated it so much. It took people ages to unravel. It had to go to a US court and a supreme judge to make Pfizer hand over the safety data they tried to bury. And when this safety data came out, it showed that they had 42,000 people had serious adverse events. That's life-threatening. This is not minor. This is life-threatening things. 1,220 people had died in the early Pfizer study. And this is the FDA that says, warning, any drug that's associated with 50 or more deaths will be automatically pulled. They can't even see their own inconsistency on their website. This is the extent of the corruption. They broke every law in the book to allow a dangerous vaccine out that was never ever needed.
I think I'm going to play that again for persons who missed it. So I'm going to play it for a second time.
Yet they allowed this vaccine to go through with hardly any safety data at all. In fact, the safety data was there, but they obfuscated it so much. It took people ages to unravel. It had to go to a US court and a supreme judge to make Pfizer hand over the safety data they tried to bury. And when this safety data came out, it showed that they had 42,000 people had serious adverse events. That's life-threatening. This is not minor. This is life-threatening things. 1,220 people had died in the early Pfizer study. And this is the FDA that says, warning, any drug that's associated with 50 or more deaths will be automatically pulled. They can't even see their own inconsistency on their website. This is the extent of the corruption. They broke every law in the book to allow a dangerous vaccine out that was never ever needed.
To play this again, and then I'm going to open the line for persons who want to make their contribution. Just bear with me 1 second. Yes. Bear with me 1 second. Okay.
You go to an evacuation center, you will also be vaccinated. This is not a drill and it is not voluntary. There's a pandemic that is taking place and we'll be vaccinating persons once they enter a government-operated shelter. And I want that to be very clear to persons as well for listening.
Let me just try to see if I could remember and give a history of that particular statement. Here is it. We have the volcanic eruption. A boat was sent to Chateaubelair at the wharf to take people from Chateaubelair to the other part of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Other part of St. Vincent, not really, other part of St. Vincent. Other part of St. Vincent. And we have the representative of the area in the constituency. When person were already to board the thing, he indicated that once you board the ship, you will be vaccinated. And it's not a jail and it's not optional. You will be vaccinated. Tell me, how insensitive and wicked that could be. Because, so let me try to explain to you in my own words. So here is it. Poyer is hesitant in taking the vaccine for a number of reasons. There is a volcanic eruption. And you telling Poyer is either you stay here and die or take the vaccine and die eventually. Basically, that is what you're saying. Stay here and die from the eruption, or when you go to the center, you have to take the vaccine, and which we know they were killing, so you're going to die eventually. And I remember person came out after and said, oh, that wasn't said. How insensitive you can be in the time where persons are trying to flee for safety from a disaster. And you, at that time, when they would have left the homes and reached to a boat where they're hoping take them to a place of safety, you are suggesting to them that let me tell you this. If you enter that boat and you enter a government facility, you are going to be vaccinated whether you like it or not. Tell me, that is not wickedness at the highest order. But you are opening the lines now, so if you are listening and you want to be a part of our discussion, you are free to call. Poyer, I think this one is for you. So let me just pleasant good night. Pleasant good night. Good night.
Mr. Speaker.
How are you doing? How are you doing, General?
I'm all right.
Okay.
Please light my darkness for me.
Mm-hmm.
A about the vaccine mandate.
Yes.
In a few days' time.
Hey?
They'll be hearing a few days' time.
Yes, yes.
So at the end of that hearing, can decide that the case cannot go to the Privy Council?
There's another option where they can seek leave from the Privy Council itself. But yeah, the Court of Appeal could decide that they don't have sufficient argument to forward it. Yes.
Well, I think that's what they would say. So why they're not seeking the direct
No, I think it's a procedure. You have to follow a certain procedure. So I think that is what happened. You follow, but my problem is that I think the Court of Appeal stayed too long before they
call it
correct. I think the Court of Appeal stayed too long. So, but
something right.
well, to nobody.
That was always the procedure. We had to have a hearing before.
I know nobody hearing before, but I know the court had to give leave, but I know nobody, and if they refuse to give leave, you can seek leave otherwise, short leave otherwise. But I don't know if we always have a hearing. I asked an individual, and they told me not normally the procedure. And I think somebody has sent something else for me. Let me see if I find that one also where I could. Okay. Ordinary an application is made to the Court of Appeal, they will seek to satisfy themselves. That is a matter which appellant has a right to go to Privy Council for. So leave is usually granted by the Court of Appeal. But that is not necessarily the end of it. The Privy Council itself can grant leave to appeal. And that will require lodging an application in London itself, yes. So that is the procedure.
I feel a little better now.
Yeah, yes.
All right, have yourself a good
Okay,
night.
you too, Speaker. Pleasant good night.
Good night.
Good night,
I noticed my partner beat me to it, boy. I'm surprised. My partner beat me to this, boy.
Speak
What?
up.
Big up. Must see how he's a 7th Adventist anyhow. Oh boy, what a country we live in. What a St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Everybody seems to be having the say now. But I wonder if people will agree with me from a Christian standpoint especially, that this has been the biggest sin. I don't know about talk about sin now, but I wonder if they will agree with me that this is the biggest sin that was ever committed against humanity. And I'm choosing my words carefully. That was ever committed against humanity in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Is this, those of you listening me out there, I want to provoke some response to this thing, man. In a Christian society, because even the churches, I heard you were speaking about the Seventh-day Adventists as well.
Yes.
And not even them from a church standpoint appear to have any kind of sympathy, empathy for our people. And tell me something. When who I think is the North Leeward representative, representative made that
that was during the volcanic eruption in 2021.
Yes, what I mean is how you said he gave that instruction. I wonder if that instruction came from him directly, but it's up to he's a big man whether he want to admit it or not. If you understand,
yes.
Because somehow we speaking, but we can't speak for ourselves, or we can't tell the truth.
Correct. They have to talk from, they have to speak from script.
You know, we are so overshadowed, or whatever the case might be. That remind me of my friend there. I don't know if he's still my friend, Curtis King, with that popular clip that used to be played about pension and all of that. Well, he ain't got nothing to worry about. Wait, is 2 terms he done do?
No, he's seeking the people for the second term.
Well, boy. Yeah, so, and let me say this. ordinary Vincentians who I would like to believe have basic common sense. Take a good look at what is happening. I have already stated that in the year 2025, this has been the most productive year from a ULP standpoint. I don't know if
and also the funeral homes.
all right. Well, you second the motion. You know, but I thank God I'm still alive. I may have to claim to for let me give I don't like to speak certain things, you know. I take a long time to try and analyze and what's not. But I may also have to claim something for my condition right now. Because I notice I am not on the road, I can't be seen, but thank God for my voice. I'm able to say what I can say. But let me tell the whole world, yeah, where this vaccine is with what's happening with this vaccine. I made up my mind from day one. By the way, did you take it?
You see we look stupid.
You what I'm saying?
You see we look stupid.
All right, okay. So from day one, I told myself I was not going to fall victim. I hear my words. I wasn't going to fall victim to that because the thing came up upon us like something
like
that wasn't expected, like an earthquake or whatever you want to call it, and so on. It wasn't expected, and as a result, maybe I might have to claim. But Prime Minister, I hope you're listening to me, or one of your agents will tell you what I said. So, in our situation, I was admitted to hospital because certain things started happening to me. And I went down to the A&E casualty, however they want to call it. And after they look at me, they examine me. But I know how I was feeling. I wasn't feeling natural or the normal way I feel. And the last thing they did, the nurse said, wait, let me do test now for the vaccine, you know.
COVID.
What I call it?
For the COVID-19. COVID-19.
Yeah, COVID-19 test. But to my surprise, when she do what she doing, I said to myself, you know, Lord of His mercy, I hope I fall victim to this testing, you know. And it came out positive. Well, I tell you, I felt different. I felt strange right away. So I was tested positive, you know, and this was coming to the end when they were freeing up and all of that, when they say, well, you know, and so on. I'm hearing now I'm tested with COVID and so on. And that started my journey to where I am at this moment. Well, they were saying, remember this, those of you who have underlying whatever.
Underlying conditions.
Yeah, they were telling you, you're the ones who's supposed to take it. But in a way, I am happy I didn't take it. Otherwise, I might not be able to be speaking now. I mean, but everybody's thing is not the same.
Correct,
Everybody's experience is not the same.
Correct.
But as I'm saying, look at what happened with the national airline down under in Australia. Qantas, look at the big, nearly $60 million they have to pay out now to all those people that lost their jobs and so on. How much are we in St. Vincent? Those of you who are affected, how much money are you going to get by from this government? And you know, as I listen to this thing going to the Privy Council and so on, you see how things happen? NDP will have to pay that. Anyhow, I just announced that. I mean, in case, however, the case go, if it reach.
They're going to reach the Privy Council. They had to reach it.
Yeah. So NDP, from all appearances, if they get, you have to still see if they get into office, barring any undoing, any maladministration, especially because we know the ruling regime can't afford to lose this election. There is too much in the matter beside it. They will have to answer too much questions, and and that is another story. But that's looking ahead as to if they want to lose the elections, and so on. That's another NDP story. So I just saying this for those who are looking for the NDP coming into office, that we have to prepare ourselves. The future ain't look so bright for me, And I'm just speaking. I'm just trying to speak from a very unbiased way, objectively, in terms of what is happening with us at this time. So, yes, I hope. I asked the question: was it the biggest sin ever committed, against our people here? And well, those who push the fire, those who try to make a mess of our minds, they will have the price to pay. Thank you, man.
All
Keep
right,
on
you
going.
too. All right. President, good night.
Hello, good night, fellas.
Good night.
I meant to have something well prepared to deal with this thing here tonight. But because of this VINLEC cutting out every 2 seconds, I couldn't get it done.
VINLEC car flow.
VINLEC,
Okay,
man.
okay.
VINLEC, I buy stuff, got to do with getting current and
Okay.
Which reminds me. Now, I don't know why people want to talk about things for election and what's in people's pocket and all this kind of stuff. And Leacock mentioned it one time in Parliament, and by the time the fella come and open him out, he started to back down. Leacock, you see that surcharge on your electricity bill? You all have to tell the people you are going to do something about it. I got a tape with a fellow, I call him the Bagger Mulatto. So fellas from overseas call him to talk about VINLEC charge, and he decided to cuss them. And tell them they live up there, and if they don't pay the bill and all that kind of stuff. The fact of the matter is, I live in America for 30 years. The same thing happens to the price of gas. And there's no surcharge on my thing, where the usage is $400, but the surcharge is $500. This is something affecting people's pocket. All them higher highfalutin thing they're talking about. Address that to the people. Tell them the first thing they're going to do is make it so that this surcharge thing disappears. By the way, there are the folks. You see, I laugh, There are the folks. The bill for the AIA that they claiming, whatever they claiming the other day, I wonder who paid it. I saw it wasn't AIA. I thought they didn't pay it. So who paid it? Huh? But some people not doing the work, eh? Now, fellas, Shelley Clark editorially put up that this COVID vaccine thing should be the number one issue in the next general election. I plan to live up to that, Shelley. I plan to live up to that. Joel, you just played. Well, it's 2 tapes you should play there, but it's all right. The first one he played is a fellow named Angus Dalgleish, an oncologist in the United Kingdom, telling you about how Pfizer, and giving you the numbers. The CDC says if you bring out something and 50 persons die, you should pull it immediately. Immediately it should be pulled. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell all you something. Somewhere in 1980, they start frightening the hell out of people. A fellow named Gerald Ford, a Republican. I couldn't stand the guy. He was like retarded. Came into to be president by accident because of stuff with Richard Nixon. And he on TV telling people they must get vaccinated against swine flu, I think it was. Guess what, guys? 40 million Americans took it. less than 50 of them died. You know what happened? They pulled it. They pulled it. They've been there telling you the same thing, you know, that the whole America gonna die if you didn't get vaccinated. They pulled it. The whole America didn't die. But these guys think they could come up with the same shopping all the time. And you played, you see, I ain't got everything really together. You play that thing with one vote.
Yes.
Mr. Arrogant himself. But everybody seems to be forgetting that he was not the only one who did that. The cruise ships promised to come here and move some people out until the war was over. Ralph Gonsalves got on radio and said that the cruise ships are going to do it, but you must get vaccinated. The CEO for the cruise ship had to come out and say, no, that came from the Prime Minister of St. Vincent. I'm going to get the tape. Well, I got the tape. I'm going to just go on. I'm going to line stuff up, folks. I'm going to line stuff up. Furthermore, the St. Lucians promised to take some people. Ralph Gonsalves said the St. Lucians say you have to get vaccinated. The St. Lucian had to come out and say that's not true. The Grenadians promised to take some people. Ralph Gonsalves said you got to get. The Grenadians have come out and that's not true. So it's not one vote alone. It's not him alone. So we have this stuff, and Mr. Leacock, I'm begging you, please. When you see you asking questions in Parliament, it's not about kicking, man. Don't be kicking. Because that you ask a question there, and that guy there, what's his name? Jimmy Prince?
Jimmy Prince, yes.
Trying to be smart. And it ain't no Sinclair thing. It ain't no Sinclair thing, Leacock. To hell with it. Let me read. You see, I got to get all this stuff there. And you got some there. Let me read something for Jimmy Prince. From the 29th of June, 2024. Once praised for the world's highest vaccinated rate, Portugal now has the record highest excess deaths. Mr. Jimmy Prince, listen, I saw a lady in Canada doing something in the Parliament. I'm hoping that Leacock, that is allowed here. Because she got up and made a statement. So Leacock could get all these headlines here. You have one there from the Philippines, where they're telling about excess death in. It blows your mind. 400 and something thousand, Jimmy Prince. Then you have the Japanese coming out again. I mean, the fellow actually must have noted the doctor inside the Parliament there. Then this week, 2 days ago, again from Japan, they're pressing the panic button because vax people are dropping like flies. This is 2 days ago, Leacock. Look up now. The boy, Jimmy Prince. But you see, I'm here thinking, when a fellow refers to my cousin, say he don't want to call him a little black boy. I wonder if you were send them inside with him, a little black boys. I wonder if they're little black boys. But listen,
babies.
The babies?
Yes.
Okay. Dave, you call and you say you went to the hospital and they give you this test and told you had COVID. But Dave, maybe you felt, Dave, what have you done after that? What have you gone back to test to see if you have COVID, Dave? Whether Dave, a court again in Portugal decided, and not only that, the fellow who invented the PCR test said it cannot be used to diagnose any disease at all. As a matter of fact, the World Health Organization used a remodeled thing from a fellow named Justin from Germany. I got Justin on tape saying, well, if not for this PCR test, a whole bunch of countries would not know that they have COVID. You hear that? The whole bunch of countries would not have known that they had COVID. It was all, folks, about Bill Gates making gazillions about Pfizer making millions of dollars. Scare tactics. Scare tactics. And people bought it. Bought it. But, you know, it surprised me that a fella, a wall boss. Well, no, I'm not surprised. Because he was one way throughout 2020. One way throughout 2020. Bill Gates showed up in December, and by January 6th, the fella had changed his mind. And could you fellas please ask a question in Parliament? We heard from the judge that St. Vincent received how many millions from some unknown place? Is that a state secret? Leacock, I'll ask question, but I don't be asking no question about no cemetery. We need to know where the money came from, who it came from.
Where it went.
Huh?
And where it went.
That's right. No, well, they had trucks. Some people really surprised me going up and down the country telling people about take vaccine. One particularly really let me down. Let me down big time. You see? And radio station. And you call out some of them. Gerald Thompson, where are you? Where are you, Gerald Thompson?
In the garden hiding.
Eh? No, he did is talking about he pushing some stupid dotishness to the other. But anyway, fellas, if the government bringing chicken here, who the chickens are supposed to be for the farmers?
Yes.
How come some people working in some marijuana thing getting 1,000 chickens? They have farm? They have farm? Huh? So, Leacock, I don't know how he could do this. But Mr. Jimmy Prince should not be allowed to get away with his foolishness. Should not be allowed. Take, for example, fellas, Israel. I got an next headline here. Israel once praised as, I can't remember, as the greatest dominated country in the world. Then the next headline, in 6 months, was the most affected person with COVID in the world. Israel. Remember the fella there, the Netanyahu fella say Israel will become the guinea pig. And that is when it started happening. You see that study from Massachusetts, I must remind the people of this country, it was done because of the information coming out of Israel. So they did Fauci, the criminal, the crook. They're going after him again, eh? Anyway, they did a study in Massachusetts, again, folks, with 460-something fully vaccinated people. 400, this is June 2021, July 2021. Yeah? Guess what, folks? 330-something of them got COVID. Guess what, folks? 4 out of 5 of them ended up in the hospital. And guess what? I'm telling the country again, Ralph Gonsalves had that information. You see, when I've been down to protest, it's because I know he had that information. But hold me, I'm not Bill Gates. I don't have money. Yeah? So, we have that there. Leacock, I don't know. They could make speeches for arbitrary, arbitrary? If my dog dead, somebody going in Parliament will make a whole long speech about Franklin Silver dog dead. Well, I'm suspecting that in this case here, you could make a speech and let Mr. Jimmy Prince explain all these excess deaths. And you will have it well tabulated, Mr. Leacock. I will make sure that well tabulated. They're not going to get away with this stupid dotishness. And by the way, let me remind folks again, because you're talking something there, everyone in this country remembers that when they claimed before vaccine that 12 persons had died of COVID. I remember that 12. And then they started the vaccine madness, and then it shoot up from 12 to 100 and something, Jimmy Prince. And when you come and talk about who ain't there, you did autopsy, Jimmy Prince? So you come in and talk your dotishness? Eh? You did an autopsy on anybody? Eh? Which reminds us, Dave just told us, he said he tested positive for COVID. I wonder what Dave did. David should go back and take a test. Because again, Dave, that PCR thing was nothing but crap. Okay? Nothing but crap. I have Fauci saying so. Okay? So fellas, listen now. I go on, I said enough for now. But next week, well look, y'all could be looking in the week for some serious stuff. Some serious audio coming out. Serious audio coming out. I'm not joking with this thing here.
We got to buy a generator.
You know the other night, I was thinking, boy, maybe I should have bring a generator here.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, you know?
Yes.
Yes. All right, guys.
Okay.
Good night.
All right. You're keeping it real right here on night radio. Prior this is because the election cannot be free and fair when the government has lumber and gabardine to share. Here is a rhyme, a rhythm section. The man is singing Parang. It will be like heaven lost when they defeat the world boss.
No.
Okay. Pleasant good night. Pleasant good night.
Hello, pleasant good night.
Good night, good night.
I do not know how people like Jimmy Prince and One Vote and even our Prime Minister could come back again to face the Vincentian people and beg them again for another term in government when they have already destroyed so many of the Vincentian people. Watched, oh God, have mercy upon us. I do not know how people like Gerald Thompson, the CMO, and others could sleep in the night.
They sleep with the eye open.
Oh Lord, have mercy upon us. You take, for instance, even private employees who are paying, offering their workers money to take this wicked
Yeah,
thing.
correct.
One gentleman told me that his boss told him to take the vaccine,
But-
otherwise he won't have a job.
But the ex-prime minister said give him a Kentucky.
Lord have mercy on us.
That was so insultive.
Lord have mercy upon us. You know? And he told his boss that he would not take it. His boss told him that if he don't take it, he will not work. Well, he was reluctant, and the boss called him again and tell him, the boss don't take it, and he must take it. Otherwise, he won't have a job. Some people take it to keep their job,
Yeah,
and they don't
correct.
have the job, and they're dead. You take, for instance, he said he went and he take one, the first one. And he told me he had to spread plastic on the mattress in the night. Because he had pain in his skin. And after that, his boss called him again and told him he don't take the second one and he must go and take it. He told the boss he ain't taking on. No more. Not for what that one has done to him. You know, you had employers, private people, private employers, offering their workers money to go and take this wicked thing, this vaccine. I can't understand why they were hearing that people were dying from it. Right here in St. Vincent, I listened carefully when they were telling you 5 people is hospitalized for COVID, 3 vaccinated, 2 unvaccinated. And you're going to hear the vaccinated one, they in the hospital, and you still going to go take it? You know? I do not understand these people here. I do not understand how Jimmy Prince and One Vote could face the electorate again. People running for their life. Volcano coming down on them, fire behind them, and you telling them they have to get vaccinated, otherwise they can't come into the ship, and the ship they can't go in any shelter, and they're running for their life. And you going back to them same very people to tell them vote for you again to do a finish kill the rest. Thank you very much.
All right. A pleasant good night.
Good night,
Good
Mr.
night.
Abraham.
Good night. Good night.
And good night to Poya.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, I ain't on the vaccine thing. I am right now. I just sent you a clip there by the great Malcolm X. I would like you to play. It's very short and nice.
Okay.
I have another one also. That I did a part of it. I didn't do the whole thing. I did another part of it on audio. I will send for you.
Okay.
It speak about the house
slave
Negro.
Okay.
House Negro. It speak about the house Negro. And I know in St. Vincent we still have a lot of them here. And also today I was going through Facebook and I saw, you remember a couple of years ago we had a election that the NDP had won, where a young lady lost her eye.
Yes, that 94.
Yeah, and a young lady lost her life
Yeah,
with,
correct.
with a half a block.
Yeah, 94.
Right.
Yes.
I look at that video today, and that lady was on. That lady was on speaking.
Yeah, Charmaine
and
Bailey.
telling people, yes, and telling people about the pain she went through and
Yes.
what she went through for 20 how much years. And she's begging people, please, this is a party that you have to get rid of. Don't go through another 5 years with this government. Do our very best to get away from this government, because she has faced it and she has been in a lot of pain. When I look at that young lady and I see her speak, water came out my eyes, you know, because let me tell you that at that time that young lady was very young, and she has been there now. When that lady took out the eye, that the false eye that she has, when she took it out and showed it on live, and she showed it, what happened to her? I guess anybody who looked at that would have been touched. Would have been touched. And that is something I wish that could be pushing around so that people could see. You know, I mentioned about Mr. Jimmy Prince and those people. How often do you hear those candidates on the ULP side come on radio programs and speak about their constituency and what is happening within their constituency? How often? But here you have a new slate of candidates on the New Democratic Party slate that Mr. Friday is the head of. And all of these people who are representing a constituency will come on the radio and they will speak and they will be open for questioning from people and they will answer. They come out and they tell you what they have in store for you as the people who they're going to go there to work for during the election when they get, I wouldn't say if, you know, when they get nominated. And they are going out there. Mr. Shallow, my constituency representative, Mrs. Velox, you have Fitz, you have Miss Siobhan out in the countryside, and all these people who are speaking out. Right? We're going to have a meeting tomorrow in Nespo. We're going to have a meeting tomorrow in Nespo. And I know that there are a lot of people who's going to come out there. There are a lot of people who have changed, you know, Mr. Abraham. A lot of people switch, you know. But they are afraid to talk because they're afraid to victimize. And what we are seeing happening, Mr. Abraham, are you there?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah. What we are seeing happening now is that we see where now the ULP on the Prime Minister's side, which his son is coming out now and speaking, he's not the elected candidate. He's not representing the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But he is going out there and he's making talks to people who's working in the government. Now, what is that trying to say to you? Is that trying to put a muzzle on people's mouth? Or we be pit bulls? The chains have been broken from our hands. The slavery chains have been broken from us a very long time ago. Slavery has done, and this is why I went through Malcolm X and I've listened to the pieces that he put. And I really want you to play that clip. I just sent you one day, I'll send you the other one. And I really want you to play it for people to hear. And it's very short and very lovely.
Okay.
And if you could listen to the words and what he means about it, you will understand. You will understand. And my thing is, I want to see a better St. Vincent. This government has been there too long. It's been making people suffer. People are feeling the pain right now. As to the young lady who lost her eye and who spoke out
of what happened to her in the past and what she's been going through up until this very day. She said her eyes and her head was killing her. Thank God to her brother who was there to help her, right? And what she is going through. And we have to take all these things and we have to look at it and see and understand what she is speaking about. There are people who are feeling pain out here, We are feeling it, but we had warned them about it. So man like me, I'm an independent guy. My father always tell me to be a jack of all trades, don't master none. You'll make it if you really want to do it. Understand? And I pass that on to my children. And I'm so proud of all my children. But when I'm seeing the crimes and so forth, look, we have a youngster who's going to be buried tomorrow who has been shot, who works at the Boom FM station. It's another soul gone. It's another child gone. And when we look at these crimes, we as parents, not because it can reach home by we, but we have to take it as one of our own. A child who's lost their life in violence and crime has to be one of my child, has to be one of yours, Mr. Abraham. We have to look at it. Let us be our brothers' keepers out here. And let us get out together and go out. This election is very serious. We have a port that they put there now. And saying that now I mentioned this, we have a port that we put there now. We want to see how long and what is going to be out on this port when it starts feeling the weight of these ships coming and rest there, because these ships are very heavy, And when we have those movement underneath with the surging of the sea, we know what surging of the sea does at Little Tokyo when those water coming in. We know what it does. I want to know the cruise ship season is coming up, and this is when I mentioned the port, this is what came to me. The cruise ship season is coming up in November, right? And they have been using the cruise ship terminal for docking of boats and so forth. These big ships and so offloading whatever the cargo they bring in and so forth. Has the government take a time and the tourism department take a time and go out there and do some power washing and do some general cleaning for the cruise ship season and make sure that the dock and everything is okay and in perfect conditions for when the cruise ship season comes? Because that's what that port is for. It's a cruise ship for bringing our cruise ships in so that we can have tourists coming to our island here to visit. And this is what it is. This government is not building on what they meet, They're not building on what they meet. They're letting what they meet go and dismantle. Look at all the schools. And what's that? They're talking about what schools they do and what they do for schools. But look at all the projects on all the big schools, the Girls High School, Thomas Sanders, and all of them. Just they close up. And they can't repay them yet. The day before school opened, which was the Sunday, they power washing the school down at Mesco, down by the police station, they power washing and cleaning. The day before school opened, that is what is happening there. And you could imagine for much more. But Mr. Abraham, I've said enough. Thank you for your time. I wish you just play that clip for me, and I'll send you the other one in a while. Thank you very much. So have a good day.
Okay.
Let me tell you something, and I'll tell you why you say we hate white people. We don't hate anybody. We love our own people so much they think we hate the ones who are inflicting injustice against them. Let me tell you something, and I'll tell you why you say we hate white people. We don't hate anybody. We love our own people so much they think we hate the ones who are inflicting injustice against them.
Now, going back to the school thing from Father Abraham.
Okay, well, before you go back to, let me just play these because I think this relating to the school, so just before.
My name is Oswald Robinson, president of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union. There are still a number of issues related to the room in a school. I noted that the Deputy Prime Minister in a television program just prior to the opening of school said that for the past 2 weeks, Braxtor was involved in maintenance and repairs of school. Now, anybody who listened to that statement will know that Braxtor cannot adequately deal with all the maintenance and repairs of all the schools in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 2 weeks. So that statement alone should tell you that a lot of schools that have issues were untouched. In fact, the basic supplies to schools, Bristol board, markers, chalk, those things have not yet reached to the schools. Teachers have the burden to find these things, which is unfair. There are a number of schools that do not have janitors. And I want the authorities to get into the schools and clean them properly, because that's not the responsibility of our teachers. They are still, for example, the Kingston Preparatory School that doesn't have a principal. You have Mr. Noel that is performing deputy position for many years, never receive an allowance. It's time that the ministry give him some upward mobility, because he has been there doing the bulk of the work and managing the school. We have a situation at Bukument where a teacher who's just received their first degree probably a year ago, and now is principal, and somebody who has been deputizing for 21 years, at that school, and you bring somebody and put them in that position. Now, how do you expect to sustain harmonious relationship with the management and staff at the school? I said this on the union's TV program and also on the union's radio program and Boom FM, where the authorities are interfering, the government is interfering in the work of the Public Service Commission. You cannot have interviews last week Friday, and by Saturday morning, midday, people are being told that you are principal of this school, you are principal of that school. It doesn't work that way. I also said that you have people in administrative control in schools. And lo and behold, they have done all the work, professional development with the teachers, deploy the staff, and then you send somebody else to manage the school. This is totally unacceptable. You have teachers in the system who have received their graduate certificate from various universities since 2020 and cannot get their graduate appointment. And I have been writing the Ministry of Education, sending it to the Public Service Commission, and the Minister of Education, nobody is acknowledging receipt. We have a teacher now who just from maternity leave went on to 45 days vacation leave when she's supposed to get 90 days, and the ministry just pussyfooting on the whole issue. The teacher was so stressed out, she was sick. And they still calling the school and asking for her resumption. If you're on sick leave, how could you resume? Something is definitely wrong in the Ministry of Education. They have transferred teachers right, left, and center without the authority of the Public Service Commission and using word of mouth. And the permanent secretary writing people and tell them, report to such and such school. The transfer must come from the Public Service Commission, not from anybody in the Ministry of Education. So I want the nation to be aware that things are not well when it comes to education in this country. And in a matter of time, a lot of other things will be revealed. Thank you.
Good afternoon again. Please permit me to make a submission in addition to what I've just said. The library falls under the Ministry of Education, and there's a janitor at the library who has worked, and the month of August has already finished, and she has not received her payment. And I want the authorities to pay the people when they do their work. Anything that falls under the Ministry of Education appears to be moving at a snail pace, and I don't understand why this has to be so. When you have two ministers of education, the teachers who are supervising all the childhood centers in government schools never receive an allowance. They are doing additional work apart from their regular teaching. They have to teach until supervised. And I heard the parliamentary representative for North Leeward
when they were reopening the FITUs, Early Childhood Center said that they're going to put graduates to teach in the Early Childhood Center, which is good. But Northleigh would already have graduates, teachers with graduate certification, and the government is waiting until election to appoint them. So I'm calling on the authorities to appoint all the teachers in the system who have already received their successful completion graduate certificates. You have persons who are yet to be appointed qualified assistant teachers. Over 100 teachers to be appointed, graduates inclusive of qualified assistant teachers. And then you have a number of teachers who have A-levels and they're still stuck at teacher 1 when they should be promoted to teacher 2. And this is the wickedness that is happening to our teachers. And we need to have this matter resolved urgently also. Thank you.
Well, a number of the things that I wanted to mention was mentioned there, so I will go on to my other aspect.
Hold for me. Good night. Good night.
Yes, I gotta call you guys back again. Education.
Yes.
Now, when I was a little boy going to school, Chumuka, that Lomas didn't have none. They had a woodwork place downstairs, and they had home economics. You could learn to cook, you could learn to sew, and all that good old stuff. That was the hated colonial days, right? What? Now, folks, I was a teacher, okay? And several fellas come there, a fella named Clement Noel, a fella named Mr. Clark, me from out West Powder, died, Elville Clark. I mean, brilliant teacher. And you know, they put me to teach some people in a special class. You know, they said, if I can't get to them, nobody can get to them. Now, let me tell you about some of these guys. This one name, okay, Sam. This guy could write like nobody business. But he can't spell nothing. You know that guy went off to England, you know what he became in England? A sign painter. The next fellow there, a relative of mine, a mechanic. But these fellas could hardly write. So I am being like going out of my head here. Where now you have a technical college, but in order to get in the technical college, you have to have subjects. But it gets worse. So you pass and you get down to the technical college and you want to be a point of the class for to do something else. I wonder if the union man or somebody could address this. What kind of notice am I hearing here at all? In the first place, you don't need no subject to go to do them thing there. What you need subject for? It's a block. But anyway, you get through and you go there now and you want to do mechanic, and somebody's going to tell you the class full, you must go do business. But what the kind of fellas are gone,
Okay. So as well, this for you also before we close the kids at Bethel Secondary School are still standing or sitting on the desk. And at Bethel Secondary School, there is no official deputy principal. Poya?
Yes, there's a multitude of things still impacting on education. Last term, at the end of the term, we had decided, that we would have a special issue dealing with education for life, because we are saying that the whole system needs to be revamped, because a lot of our children are being left because they are being forced to just do the
academics.
The
strict academics.
Yes. And you could see that how some of them, it ain't things, so they're getting frustrated. And then they are causing problem. But if you could grab these ones early and question them as to their aim and objective, if they don't have any, you could then focus them into an area where they can use their skill, their hands, and their mind towards those sorts of things. Because I could recall in the early stage, they had the technical center where everybody used to go to. That it was in and around Kingston. So Bishop College will come up to the technical center, Richmond Hill will go there.
The boys.
Right? The girls will go by the home ec center.
Yes.
And persons who never went on to secondary school made themselves something worthwhile in life. I could recall also to when the Danes came here, Richmond Vale Academy, and they had a good technical vocational thing along the way. People even learned navigation because they had boats and all these sort of things. And those were things that we could have capitalized on and have a number of these satellites, vocational centers, whereby certain communities were known for certain aspects. Like, for instance, Vermont and Mesopotamia were good for good farming practices. Barley and Layu, you had good carpentry and the fishing industry, boat building and those sort of things. Because I carried out a survey in 1992, 94, when I was going on Army Force Zion Hill, as to where people was getting the lumber and the kind of activities that involve trees, and why the importance that we should plant certain kind of trees and those sort of things before we started planting. And we realized the need for these vocational centers. But it's only now of late, after we done throw away the baby in the bathtub, that we all of a sudden we realize the importance, because a lot of the technical persons that we had, builders and so, they leave and migrate in Trinidad, in Barbados, in Antigua, in Canada, some also in America. And the fall is empty now. So now that we had the problem with Beryl, you hardly have any proper skilled persons to within. So we're scrambling now, which and while had we have these centers in place, we'll always have, just like how you put in place with the nurses. And even still that is confusion, because I have a number of issues that have been coming to me from the health centers, where you have square pegs in wrong hole and people are not getting the allowances. And the union needs to take up these aspects. And I saw health to here, but with workers, they are not getting the allowance, they are subsidizing the government. The government owe workers thousands of dollars from allowances. Many times they would go to the treasury and so to get the traveling allowance, nothing there. And other allowances, laundry allowance and all these sort of things. It's over 14 years that they haven't got an increase, where everything has gone up concerning these allowances. So the little salary that they are getting, they still have to dig into them to maintain themselves in a proper way to go and produce. While the politicians and them done, when they done messed up, and the time leave now, they had a big gratuity and pension to get, but they want to remove your pension and gratuity. That is in the Constitution, but that is the reason why they couldn't touch it. Because if it wasn't there, your pension as a civil servant would have already gone. And there are persons in the civil service who ought to be made pensionable. People like these persons who go from offices to offices, walking up and down.
The office attendant.
Office attendants. It's only one person, the senior one, who deal with the Prime Minister office. His position is pensionable. All the others are just ordinary. And sometimes my heart goes out to them because even rain, they have to go to umbrella to go from one place. They have to wake up all in the morning to come to open the building and all this sort of thing. But we don't look at these people as necessary. And we don't think in that how. Because at the end of the day, when they go home, the minuscule what they get in from the NIS could hardly pay the medical bill, much less food for them to eat.
So back a little at education, because I was told by a few persons that before the reopening of school, they went to a particular department of government and submit a form to get school uniform and other thing for the children. And up to yesterday, they didn't receive a call from that department. So the children had to go back to school with what they had because the department failed to call or supply them with the necessary thing that they had. We're hearing that in schools where some children are still standing or
no furniture
on the desk. How that could be right? We have a number of furniture shop across in Vincent and the Grenadines. The ministry or the government can, or Braxa, hire those individuals, some individuals to build some benches and a desk for the student to be properly seated.
Because they have a lot of material that they import here, and they have them sitting on places.
So could be properly seated because you can't function if you're standing or seated on a desk for a very long time. So you can't function properly. So what they need to do is get those problems rectified soonest. Then you have a lot of schools where they, we heard about Bethel, where there's no official deputy principal because the deputy principal was transferred to be principal at Bokomen. So there's no principal, no deputy principal. At prep school, there's no principal at prep school. The deputy RG from the president. So we have
administrative control.
Yes, so for a long time without being remunerated properly. So you have those problems within the school, and we expect for children to function properly, and so that can't make no sense. And he indicated that the deputy principal of Bokomen was there for 21 years.
Yes, since Valentine was there.
And you basically went over his head, brought in somebody else from
another
space to replay to manage to be over him, and he was there in the school for such a long time. How could that be right? How could explain to me how could that be right? And
but the same thing at Western George.
Yes, I don't, because I thought he would have been granted principal, and then I don't know if it's because it caught his brother that it. I don't know if it's because it caught his brother that is why they.
But in the case of Bokomen is a politician.
I'm saying I don't know if because the Curtis don't have no say. As not the politician decide to appoint. When he Bruce the wife at Bokomen. I hear you.
But if it's supposed to be one person doing one organization doing the appointment.
I agree with you because I had a friend who went for an interview and it's basically a puppy show. Let me just take this call. Pleasant good night. Pleasant good night.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, good night.
Me boy, I tried about 100 times.
Oh, sorry. Hope I get the belly full now.
No. I'm gonna take it easy.
Yes.
Now listen. They have all these teachers, right?
Yes.
Who's supposed to be appointed over 100 and something. What they say?
Yes, correct.
Right. You got 200 and something that you fired. A whole bunch of them done dead.
Yes.
Right. Now tell me something. You ain't got no money to pay them who you done fire. Where they want to get money from to pay them who they're supposed to appoint. So you see why the education system is suffering? You're right? All because of a dotish, stupid decision that these guys made when they had all the information at the fingertips.
Correct.
All right?
Yeah.
And they just they ignored it. A bunch of no good weasels. That's what they are. All of them who promoted that crap. If you go look at a weasel is a treacherous little animal that looks just like a mountain.
And very dangerous.
Exactly. To expose innocent citizens of a country for a bunch of elites who got more money than you could shake a stick at. And these guys fell for this all because of selfish, wicked, evil decisions. I hope every single one of them lose the seat. Because you know why? They never come back and apologize. And now they're taking the case because they lose it. They're taking it to the Privy Council for what? Which means you have no good intentions. None whatsoever. Zero for the people. I hope they all lose the seat. And I know they will hear me. Who ain't listening, they're going to get the message. And I ain't got no apologies to make to none of them. I want them lose. It's wickedness. And look who paying the price now. Young people, new generation coming up for the education that they get in. Yeah, the guy did say, what was he, the chancellor? What was the guy name when they say is all for bragging rights?
Yeah.
They get in 18 and 19 and 20 subject and they ain't no squat. Nothing between these. Zero. It's a bunch of jokers, man. How the hell you could make decisions like that? How? And by the way, let me just brush all you up on something. For all you listening, let me brush all you up on something. You remember the bank that they got the loan from for the hospital in Annisvale? All you remember the name of it?
No,
the
can't
Export-Import Bank of Taiwan.
Yeah.
You know what bank? Bank is owned by the Ministry of Finance in Taiwan, the government. That's where they got the money from. That's why they got it on those terms. So talking about let me show you the connection. So you're talking about what China is doing and against China. But what is Taiwan doing? Taiwan ain't doing the same thing. They're lending you money, and that is why the PM Kirby made that statement about the hook in the gale. They're lending you money without any kind of accountability and that, and you can't pay back. What is Taiwan going to come to us for? What?
Ownership of the hospital?
You see the point?
Yeah.
What are they going to come to us? You see, I tell people all the time on this radio station and other radio stations, listen, not just hear. You have to listen and pay attention. That's how you could put things together. Making politicians turn all you stupid. Sit down and pay attention. And this party thing. If one the other one they do, you start a new one and you start again. Somebody at some point is going to get the message. You understand? But the people have to start taking a lot more responsibility for how governments behave. We allow them to behave so. And it's we who got the power. We let them get away with a lot of podiums and they talk all this kind of nonsense. And because it sounds intelligent, they want to elect them. Sounds intelligent, but there's absolutely no meaning behind it. A lot of fancy big words. Oh, he bright. Well, the PM always talk about the kind of brightness, you know. That was his He coined that term. There's two kinds of brightness. One that blinds and one that illuminates. So I will see when they lose the election, which one it be. But I want the teachers and all the civil servants to remember. They knew. Jimmy, the CMO, the PM, all of them who went along with this crap. And the churches just sat by and said nothing. They've been actually encouraging people to do it.
Correct.
Go get it. Go get it. Where are the morals behind all the church talk? Where? I'm ready to take them on anytime they're ready to kneel. Why? In the majority of them are 6 and 5 people. Because people are just totally disillusioned with churches. These guys don't hold to what Jesus is supposed to, how Jesus represented the people back in Jerusalem.
The moral fabric has gone. Gone.
Eh?
The moral ethic has gone.
Yeah, gone.
It's not about winning souls.
And boy, the churches are not setting examples because
The churches are a business now.
They're afraid to challenge. You know why? They're afraid of losing sessions, all the little goodies they get from government, selling out the congregation.
Yeah, it's a business thing now. It's a business. It's a business.
It is a business.
Because when you sick, you tell you pray to God. When the church wants something, they come and ask you to donate money. Why not the money that you're collecting and whatever? You help the sick with it, and the downtrodden and the underprivileged.
Exactly. No, it goes in straight into the account. To the account. Right to the bank. See, people, I'm straight. As you see me is where you're going to get. I ain't fancying up nothing, and I ain't trying to nice up nothing for nobody.
Well, we come on the same.
You know why? This is why society is the way it is today. We are afraid to use certain words.
You can't compromise the truth.
It doesn't sound morally or politically correct. Well, the other day, I made this statement on radio. If I was a parliamentarian, they would have either banned me out of parliament or they would have thrown me out every city. Because of the kind of nonsense I just say carrying on inside it, and only certain people could carry on with that, and you know they pick on the. You remember? You know what was one of the most embarrassing is when they made them fellas and them put on masks.
Yeah.
They refused to get the vaccine for going parliament. You remember that?
Yeah. And then one making a statement, I don't want you vaccinated and hospital to come on me.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, that was totally demoralizing. And it was black mask.
And they had to double it.
What does that tell you? You know, you see, let me tell you something, Amy. And I think Frank said it just now. The end got so much ammunition, Amy, to win this election. But I don't know sometimes, boy. I hope they could pull it off. By now, everybody don't know I done transform. It's just that I ain't going to get a party card. I can't believe these guys. That COVID thing alone, that mandate, is enough to drive me and others down the road on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
It was wickedness.
Yes.
Pure wickedness. They knew. They had a recording they played earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They knew, Pfizer knew. And one of the directors of Pfizer admitted it to one of my sister-in-law them, who used to work for them. Because she having problems too. She admitted that they knew, but they couldn't say nothing and make all the employees take it.
But according to the World Health Organization, it never reached a pandemic.
But let me tell you something. As to he, He the squishy tongue more than anything else. The man who running the WHO. They were all getting started from him. That is why them could get him to do anything they want, you know. Because they got so much on that guy.
And then
Guy was,
and then they go and pardon Fussy, who was in charge of everything. So what you pardon him for if he didn't do anything wrong?
that gentleman at the WHO, the Director General, that man was charged in the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity. That gentleman did. And the man who charged him, the man who brought up the charges, used to be an advisor to the National Security Council for the United Nations. This is not a fly-by-night guy. And he knew why he brought the charges, because the evidence is there. So they pick a guy who they could tug his string to get them to get him to do whatever they want, so that they could manipulate and deceive the whole world. Them fellas, they come straight from the pits of hell. Every single one of them. All of them. Just pure wickedness. Wickedness to the highest level. They don't lie down me better now. This is all the program. All the way up now.
Well, that's all it is. That's all it is with us.
Eh?
That's all it is with us. We're keeping it real. Keeping it real.
Yeah, I know. I tell you, I am so disgusted every time I hear a radio station bring up this issue. Totally disgusted, because it was never supposed to happen.
Right.
So many million lives.
Sentient listening, because they're trying to keep it alive somehow all over, but nobody is paying them no mind, not even in Canada. But you see, the government, them here, they're keeping it on the wraps. They're keeping it on the wraps, but nobody paying them no mind with the dotishness. But come for this new
vaccine.
This new vaccine that they got. What new vaccine? I don't know why the hell they don't sit down, all of them who want fast, trying to force people. Why they don't inject one another with it?
Plenty of them inject themselves with water.
Yes.
Water.
They need to protect themselves from one another. So let them inject one another, because all them sitting down and talking together, making these decisions. So let them inject one another. I don't understand these guys. They think, but everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And if you look at the data of how much people, you hear me, don't trust their traditional doctors anymore, because you know why? A lot of traditional doctors encourage their patients to want to take it.
Correct.
And everybody see the evidence now. Look, you want to hear in the U.S. Senate this week, how much of them big pharma paid how much millions? Bernie Sanders get over 2 million. This one gets over $1 million. That's to protect the nest egg. If they allow this crap, and none of them taking none of them vaccine or none, because they want to be able to spend the money. So they sit down there and they collecting this money and they're promoting it for the people who they consider as less than them to take it, because they're getting paid to kill everybody. That's what to do. And all of them trying to gang up on RFK Jr., Kennedy, all of them. And he ain't making a joke with none of them, you know. It's so embarrassing them, and he calling out how much all of them get paid by this big pharma and that big pharma. A bunch of crooks, a bunch of unethical people. All put. Well, you know, a lot of them, a lot of it is no trace, you know. It's cash. So I'm sure if they go home, plenty of them got safe in the house, and some of them putting it in the freezer. And nobody's looking for extra money. I tell you. And I think I said enough for the night, and I know I want Vincentians to remember what happened. If you didn't get direct somebody who did.
Correct.
You know somebody who did
Mm-hmm.
and just make the right choice. You hear me? Something that you put hope in might be better off than what you have now. And is hold them to account. Accountability for whatever they do if they get into office. Because you got to start to smarten up these politicians. They can't think it's a run-of-the-mill, free-for-all kind of thing, and they treat people how they want when they get into office. They hold them accountable. And they come out and say what you got to say. Don't be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid, people. I would back you when it comes to that. Don't be afraid. It's a joke. Put fear in people, and they got everybody sitting down there like a bunch of loopy dogs, and all they do is taking orders. 40% of them public service, they say, taking on, them civil servants. We taking on. What do you want to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Shut down the country? But they say you ain't shut down. Who would it really work?
Yeah, exactly.
Strength. There's always the old saying, strength
In
in
numbers.
numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about. Strength in numbers. All of you got cell phone, text one another about me taking on me, this, me, that. They'll come just now again, you know. Now they probably won't try the vaccine thing. They're talking about now Ebola coming back and this coming back and a whole bunch of things. They're trying all kinds of stuff. Nobody not pay them no mind. You understand? But hey, your pocket these days now, your wallet, is either they tax you to death and they want to introduce, you see that digital ID they're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Or they pay attention to that, just like how I did with COVID. I would be on radio with this one here. It's a scam. The total. All you got bank cards, when the ATM machine go down and they can't get the money, what is happening? Is you're frustrated all this get? Well, they hardly think that bad. Wait till the time your driver's license and your bank, your passport and everything into this one card. And they're ready to shut you down. See what you're going to do. See what? Oh, they better pay attention. Pay attention, people. And let them stop ramming crap down your throat.
All right. Thank you.
It's new within 3 months that 1,225 people died. That's how many deaths there are in just 3 months of rollout.
1,225 within 3 months.
Correct. Pfizer knew by April of 2021 that minors' hearts were being damaged by the injection. They had warnings from the Israeli Health Ministry and also from a pediatric group. And rather than coming forward and telling all of us this is going to damage the hearts of minors, our lawyers FOIA'd email chains that go up to Dr. Fauci, Dr. Walensky, POTUS, and 15 White House
In the email, you see it going all. So the president can't say.
The template goes to POTUS.
Right. Okay.
It's a little deniability there, but the template goes to POTUS. But certainly there are 15 White House staffers on the email chain, right?
Being told, hello, we have a problem here.
Worse, they were told that, but then there was this freak out, and I recognize it from having been an advisor to a presidential campaign, a freak out conference where they're planning how to lie to the American people, and they're creating a script. The script is 17 pages, completely redacted. But you remember what happened in April and May of 2021. They came forward and said, oh, pericarditis, myocarditis in young men and teenagers, it's transient, it's mild, it's rare. That they knew that they were lying. And
that's what they came out with. That was their
Correct.
approach. Like, we'll kind of admit it, but we'll just say it's really nothing to worry about.
And then they followed that with an all summer long propaganda campaign using influencers and TikTok personalities to get young people and teenagers to get injected.
To stand up and be a real man.
As the other one we just read about, same date, and had to be transferred to the intensive care unit at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital for what? It's just a coincidence. Unexpectedly, just a coincidence. Now, Let's learn some more about this Adventist pastor there. Who he is, well, we already know about what he does, who he was.
I'll give you some more next week.
As the house Negro and the field Negro back during slavery. There was two kinds of slaves. There was the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negro, they lived in the house with master. They dressed pretty good. They ate good because they ate his food, what he left. They lived in the attic or the basement, but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved himself. They would give their life to save their master's house quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro said, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said we, he said we. That's how you can tell a house Negro. If the master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would fight harder to put the blaze out than the master would. If the master got sick, the house Negro would say, what's the matter, boss? We sick. We sick.
Yes, you get more of that next week, Gospel, boy.
Well, we are at the end of our program. We have a couple other things to say because I had my big to see on agriculture. But hopefully next week, I will start with that aspect because the farmers are coming to me with their situation and the promises. They're asking me where is the money that they promised to give them, where is the help they're supposed to get and all this sort of thing. And if they have to wait till after election, if they win back, to get what those promises. The thing that they mentioned them since early in the first quarter. We now heading into the last quarter of the year and they ain't saying nothing. So they want to know. So until Keeping It Real was here.
So remember, as we speak today, there's 184 days and no leave to go to the Privy Council. In the next 12 days, we should have the hearing and on the leave to go to the Privy Council. So that is over a half of a year. And you'll have to wait maybe a next month or over a month before the application, the grant leave, I believe, because if they're listening to argument, they're normally slothful at all the courts in Zimbabwe, whether the magistrate, the High Court or the Appeal Court. They have to wait a while before that happens. And still people are suffering, as we indicated to you. And maybe I made a mistake. The deputy at Bookament is a female and the deputy at prep school is a male. Yeah, so if I switch them around, sorry, I think somebody told me I switched them around. But the deputy at prep school, and there's no deputy at Bethel. And Bethel needs chairs and desk for the students, Curtis King, and the ministry and Braxa. So if you're hearing by next week, you could hire some carpenters and have them build those for the students, because it must be uncomfortable for you to be standing or sitting on a desk to receive educational instruction.
One little thing. Somebody asked me the question of misbehavior in public office. So I think we have to look at that at some time during this period, because they mentioning that some aspects that are taking place if they are not commenting into misbehavior in public office.
Right, waiting for me to respond?
Yeah.
I'm not waiting to respond. It's 10:30.
All right. Until we out.
Yeah, so you're too late.
Keeping It Real is an interactive radio program heard only on Nice Radio. Join your host, Joel Abraham, every Friday as we discuss important issues affecting our society from 8 to 10:30 p.m. For persons living outside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can still listen to us on Nice Radio's website, www.niceradio.info, or you can email us at bdsnice@gmail.com, or simply give us a call at 784-456-5967. Remember, it's Keeping It Real, the interactive talk show program heard each and every Friday only on Nice Radio.
Today, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Tomorrow, the Caribbean. Nice Radio. 90.3, 101.3, 96.7.